Actually, I was born in 1959, and you can do the math. If you can't, I'm 40. And if you can't do the math, shut up, I like being 40. But to be honest, I've never been really big on celebrating birthdays. I don't like being, honestly, I really do not like being a center of attention. This is more like an addiction than a like. It's not like I like doing this, I have to do this. So, but I get it from my mother. My mother was, not that she was religious, she was just forgetful. She was forgetful. And also, she had 4 kids, and all of us were born just before major holidays. My sister, Cookie, the firstborn, was born just before Christmas. My brothers, Ralph and Bryant, born just before Easter. And as you can tell, I was born just before Thanksgiving. So my mother was too busy planning the holidays to remember that she had kids that had birthdays. And so, December 25th rolls around. The tree's decorated, the lights are up, the gifts are out, dinner is set, and my mother goes, oh I'm sorry, that almost slipped out. I'm sorry. Carol has told me this has to be a clean set. So.
I did not.
You did. You told me. Oh, here we go. Are you forgetful too? She told me. She did. She told me it had to be a clean set. And she gave me a list of words that I could not say. And it's a long list. But if we can go to the blackboard here real quick, I'll show you. If this box here represents the words I cannot say, it's an unknown quantity, we'll call it N. There are N words that I cannot say. There we go.
And I cannot say.
So, I cannot say N words, algebraically expressed. I have a PhD in mathematics. It's called mathematics because it's numbers, but I'm full of gas. See, again, I cleaned it up. I can't use the other word. So, but PhD, it is piled high and deep. So where was I? Oh, so it's Christmas Day, and my mother goes, oh, gee willikers. In some parallel universe, she says that. Gee willikers, one of you kids just had a birthday. Cookie. Oh, you just had a birthday. No, Mama didn't forget you. No, Mama, you stay right there. I got you this nice red and white monogram birthday stocking. Here you go, girl. Yeah, Mama loves you. Yeah. April rolls around. Easter's there. Christmas lights are still up. The tree is dead.
Yes.
And we've got dinner on the table, and my mother goes, oh, gosh darn. She would say as if she cared children were listening. Someone just had a birthday. Oh, Ralph, Brian, you just had birthday. No, Mama did not. No, Mama didn't forget. I got you this nice chocolate birthday bunny. There you go. Share the ears, there's 2. Yeah. About the time Thanksgiving rolled around, I knew my mother had already forgotten my birthday, so I was crying. I was on the floor crying, throwing a tantrum, and the lights are still from last year. And that's, my mother goes, boy, what's wrong with you? Come here. No, Mama didn't forget your birthday. Come here, let me light this for you. Here we go. Here. Blow out your birthday turkey. There you go. Butterball. Now, the other thing about my birthday being November 19th, when people find out, they go, one of 2 things. Oh, Scorpio. His poor wife. Or they say, oh, Scorpio, his poor wife. Depending on what you think of Scorpios. Now, but November 19th, see, I love to do math. I love math. When my mother was alive, I used to call her every February, and I'd say, Happy Conception Day. Because if you do the math, let me show you. Okay, I was born here. The average gestation period is 280 days. It takes me right here. I was conceived on Valentine's Day. That's right. If you do the math, I was conceived on Valentine's Day because I don't believe in CPT. I was exactly 280 days. So, I was born on Valentine's Day. I was conceived on Valentine's Day. The other kids? The firstborn, my sister, Cookie, do the math, she was conceived on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. We weren't Irish, but I wish they were here to hear this. I do. See, they were drunk. Yeah, they were drunk. March 17th, you darn right they were. And guess what? Who's the accident now, Cookie? Yeah. She used to call me the second accident. Yeah. See, science is on my side. Now, my brothers, they were both conceived in July. Hot July. Okay?
It's still hot.
That's right, still hot. So you know, July was kind of like this. Get off me, it's hot. Leave me alone, it's hot. All right, be quick. Quicker. But me, see, Valentine's Day. Now, to be honest, full disclosure, my parents were separated at the time, so my father had to do a little begging. And it's like, who is it? Elaine. It's me, Ernest. What you want? Hey, girl, Valentine's Day. So, I brought you some magnolias and some chocolate candy. You probably stole them. Me? Steal magnolias? So, scientifically, this is what happens. This is me. This is M, where M represents the number of magnolias that my father brought my mother, and this is the C and C for the chocolate candy. CC can be expressed as C squared. So me equals MC squared. Yep. Math romantics. That's it. Yeah. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention that December 19th was World Toilet Day. Yes. World Toilet Day. Now, initially World Toilet Day was an observance to commemorate the fall or the decline of mankind. That's what World Toilet Day was for. You see, most of what's wrong with the world today can be traced back to the advent of indoor plumbing. Yes, I can show you. Okay. Before indoor plumbing, everybody either had an outhouse or a bucket with a rope and pulley system, I think. And everybody shared the same inconvenience. We were all equal. It didn't matter your race, your religion, your financial situation. We were all equal. We had to use the outhouse. And so we all had to deal with our own stuff. And that made us better people because we dealt with our own stuff. But as soon as you bring in indoor plumbing, we don't deal with our own stuff anymore. That's somebody else's problem. And so now, that's when apathy sets in because we don't care about our own stuff or anybody else's. And that's when the world began to go to hell in a handbasket. That is one of the words I can say. My wife did approve that one. And so not only do we open the floodgates to apathy. I mean, we kicked the door open. As a matter of fact, we didn't just kick the doors open, we wrecked them.
Wrecked them?
Thank you.
Other words you
Now-
can say.
Now, the other issue is that World Toilet Day is so commercialized now. See, back when the World Toilet Day was first observed, the traditional ceremony was at night you put out a plate of dingleberries for the tooth fairy. But now, you just TP the oldest member of your home. And in my house, that's me. Now, I don't mind being the oldest member of my home. As a matter of fact, there's a young guy at my job. He's about 22. And he said to me, we were discussing things, and I mentioned something about the Colts when he left Baltimore, and he goes, "You were around for that?" I said, "Yes, I was." He goes, "Man, I thought you were 30. How old are you?" I said, "I'll be 60. He goes, "Ooh, you're half dead." Now, just so you know, let me do the math again. I only have 1 foot in the urn, okay? Now, 1 foot is 1.5% of your body weight. So in my case, that's 3.45 pounds. 2 pounds is 2% of your body weight if you have bunions and horns. And it's Miss Jackson if you ask me. So, I don't mind getting old. Matter of fact, I can show you. Getting old, see, OLD, getting over life's disappointments. So getting old just means you're getting over life's disappointments, and there's lots of them. Starting off with the fact that, well, parents are liars. They don't, almost all parents are liars. They lie about, okay, in my case, see, a lot of people wonder why I didn't have kids. And part of it is because my parents were, okay, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Sandman, snakes under the bed. I'd go blind if I didn't stop. Your face will freeze like that. The cow jumped over the moon. Okay, lies, all lies, okay? So how can I trust my parents? How? I don't know. Whenever they tried to tell me something, I had to look it up. I just didn't believe them. It's like I'll say, okay, all right, sure. Now back then, we didn't have Google or Siri. If you wanted to know something, you actually had to research it. We had encyclopedias, we kept them in the basement. So if I had a question from my mother, like, Mom, what's sex? Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Sure, wait right there. Okay. All right, Mom, what's a prostitute? Ask my father. Okay. Hey, Dad, what's a prostitute? I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. What's your mother say? She says, oh, that one you don't touch. Yeah, see, my dad was a little bit of a, I don't want to say a Romeo, but let's just say he was less selfish than my mother. See, because when I asked my mother for a little sister, my mother goes, my tubes are tied. Asked my father, he gave me one. See, because he was unselfish. He wanted me to have a little sister that I didn't meet until I was 18. But, again, he was being unselfish. And you see, now there's a reason why my brother has never been to any of my shows before, because he sits there and he's critiquing everything, like every detail, like, I don't remember that happening. But that didn't happen exactly like that. What are you talking about? Mom actually liked me. You know, She's got over there those little notes. So, I forgot what I was talking about. Getting over life disappointments.
Yeah.
So, I never had kids of my own. Now, part of that was, like I said, my parents were liars. And part of that was the curse that every parent gives every difficult child. Now, I didn't mean to be difficult, but I was difficult because they were liars. And I had to research everything they said because I couldn't trust them. That's the only reason why I was difficult. It's their fault. But they cursed me anyway. And so I didn't want to have kids. That and I'm lactose intolerant. You can't have kids if you're lactose intolerant. Because if something happens and the kid goes missing, okay, they will be on every milk carton in the country, but you won't see it. Because I'm lactose intolerant. I will be looking right by them to the rice streams. And I won't even know my kid's missing. And everybody else will be like, didn't he have a kid? Doesn't he care? He acts like he doesn't even know his kid's missing. And I wouldn't. It's not my fault. I'm lactose intolerant. Or at least my parents told me I was. I may not be. I can't trust them. But I'm afraid to drink milk to find out. I live in fear because my parents just might be right about one thing or two. So I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have kids. And now in a way I kind of miss it because I'm getting older. I'm getting over life disappointments. And not having kids is one of them, I guess. Some of you had kids. Are there disappointments or not? You can tell me. There's nobody else here. Yeah, there's like a couple of hands going, yeah. No, it's like, no. That's because she's there. That's why you're saying that. No. No, but see, the only thing about me being a little bit older now is that when Carol and I first met, like 15 years ago, if I came home and I was limping, she would say, how'd you do that? Were you playing football? Were you playing basketball? Were you boxing? Did you save a cat out of a tree? Now she just says, oh, sucks getting old. It's like, I can still save a cat out of a tree. Okay, I can't play football, boxer. I can still save a cat out of a, oh, not a real tree, like a shrub. Well, I can call 911 and have a cat rescued. Okay. But the thing is, like, I get injured doing stupid stuff or nothing at all. I got injured watching sports. See, I used to play sports. I was not as good as my nephew, who my mother used to go to all his games and cheer him on. And I was a pretty decent running back. I used to play intramural leagues. I was a pretty decent running back. The thing is, now when I watch football, sometimes I get so much into the game, I juke when the running back jukes. So I'm going to, and Carol thinks I'm having a seizure. It's like, oh, no. And Carol is like 9, 1, and she's waiting. If I fall down, she'll move the other one. And if I get up and cuss, then she knows it's okay that I'm just watching football. So I'm juking back and forth. Yeah, the other night I was watching a classic boxing match. I mean, classic. And same thing, because I used to box, and I'm watching, and I'm bobbing, and I'm like, jump, weave, bob, jab, jab, jab. Okay, brush it, oh! I should have picked on a white balloon. Sorry, guys. It was a couple weeks ago. Well, I have plantar fasciitis. I got it in my 30s when I used to play sports. But the other week, 2 weeks ago, it got so bad that I actually had to take 2 days off from work. I could barely walk on my foot. And it was so bad that the pain had spread up to my hip. And I couldn't even sit down right. And I was actually leaning like this. I was leaning, I couldn't even lie down. I was like this. If I were naked, I would be one good tape job away from being a classic Peter Paul Rubin painting. Rubenesque, if you please. Or not pleasing, not pleasant at all. I apologize for that visual. But yeah, just one take job away from being a classic. But now, as I've gotten a little older, I like to think wiser, because now I have questions for all the answers that I had when I was growing up. No, I think that's the way it works. See, when we're younger, we have like these, when you're real little, you have all these questions. Actually, you have one question. Why? 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 But see, then, as I got older, I figured out all the whys. At least I thought I did. And now I have more questions. Okay? Like the 4 food groups. And is this good for you? Is that bad for you? Does bacon kill you? Do eggs kill you? I started eating healthy when I was 13. When I was 13, I started eating really healthy. I mean, healthy for a fat Baltimore kid. I used to eat like powerhouse sandwiches, and I had like good roughage and stuff like that. And I had a really good diet. And then as I got older, like now my doctor says, well, you're not eating healthy enough. I'm 60, screw that. Right now my diet consists of high flavor, high fun, low guilt food. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Okay, I do care a little, because there's some things I don't eat, but it's not because of my health concerns, it's because of my wife's. Because she needs to breathe, and some foods give me gas. And
Some things.
that gets edited out. So, but as a kid, I was a little difficult. Part of it is because my mother said she said 2 things. One, that actually she said more than 2 things to me. And it wasn't like, in all those years she just said 2 things. Just the 2 things stand out like right now. One of them was that, you're so smart, you don't have any common sense. And you kind of scared me. Now, and I understand, I do understand. Now, my father died when I was 8, or, my mother did it. They say it was cancer, but it was. And until I was about 6 years old, my father was on the fence about whether or not I was normal or not. Okay, back then we didn't have autism scales. We had an all-shitism scale. And depending on how loud my father went, that let me know how bad I screwed up. See, when I was little, I believed everything I read. Everything I read. I took it literally. I couldn't tell the difference between a comic book and an instruction manual. Because when I was little, if it was in print, it was real. That's it. I just took it all literally. And one time my father came home and I was laying at the bottom of the steps. And I had my Peter Pan book in my hand. And he looked down and he saw the Peter Pan book in my hand and he didn't bat an eye. He knew what happened. Peter Pan, kid, bottom of the steps, and tried to fly. And all he did was just look at me and went, oh shit. When I was little, I tried to, I read the part in the Bible. Actually, I was reading I read the Bible. The summer between kindergarten and 1st grade was my most dangerous year. Because in that year, I read my Bible and my encyclopedia and my dictionary. And that much knowledge, without explanation, in the hands of a 1st grader is devastating. And I got to this little part where it says, you shall do these things and greater. And I believed it. And I started trying all the little miracles. I thought I could do every last one of them. So I started off with the easy one, walking on water. And again, it's funny, my father died, like I said, when I was 8. But those last few years before he died, I'm not sure if my mother actually killed him. It may have been me. I tried to I didn't have a Red Sea, but I did have a bathtub. And we did have red dye number 3 back before they found out they gave you cancer. So I made my own Red Sea, and I started to read my instruction manual. It says, the Lord blew upon the waters as if it were the east wind, east would be this way, and blow. Little ripple, promising. A little harder. Bigger ripple. Oh, this is going to be great. I can do it. I know I can do this. And I blew until I passed out. I hyperventilated. And my father heard the splash because he was watching me from the other room. And he comes in and he pulls me out the water and goes, oh, shit. So I didn't give up. I didn't give up. Every miracle I tried, I failed at. Every last one of them. But I wasn't going to give up because I just figured I was just doing something wrong. Maybe I read a word wrong. Or maybe I just wasn't big enough. I mean, the water did part a little. Maybe God just has really big lungs. And once I get big, I'll be able to part that Red Sea. Because right now I'm just a little boy. When I'm a man, I should be able to do it. I mean, Moses was old when he did it. He didn't do it as a kid. He was old. So maybe when I get older, I'll be able to part the Red Sea. I just have to grow up. That was my reasoning. So I wasn't disappointed. So when I was in the backyard and I saw our dog, his dog that I took care of. No, his dog, our dog Bullet, with a dead rodent in his mouth. I was like, oh man, let's, Bullet, put it down, put it down, put it down. Wait a second, that's dead. Lazarus. Come here, boy. Come here. Come here, give me that rodent. Yeah, thank you. Good boy, sit. Sit, Ubu. So, I laid the rodent down, and I started praying over it. Now, I know it's supposed to take 3 days, but I was on schedule. Okay? Nothing. What am I doing wrong? Is it the wrong prayer? Maybe I need to stand at the east and blow. Let's see here. The breath of life. Okay. Nothing. So I took the rodent, and I was ready to give up. And I said, wait a second, let me get my manual, the Bible. Let me get my manual and see what I'm doing wrong. So I put the rodent in the trash can, cover it up, and I start to walk toward the back door, and I get halfway there, and I hear the lid pop off, and the rodent hopped out and just runs across the alley and stops halfway. And he turns around and looks at me, and I looked at it and I went, all right, it worked. And the rodent looked at me like, thanks. I thought I was a goner. So I was so excited, I ran the house and I told my father about it. I said, Dad, I got one. I did it. I brought a rodent back to life. He goes, what kind of rodent? So I ran downstairs, got the encyclopedias, brought it up to him, and I showed him. He goes, oh shit. That's a possum. And I looked at him and I said, that's an opossum. They die too. I'm counting it. I wasn't sure if that was the last time he said, oh shit or not, I don't know, but I counted it, so. In my little record of Book of Miracles, I'm like 1 for 22. But it's a start. And I'm a little older, and then once I retire from Random House, I will resume, because I'll have more time on my hand, I will start working miracles again. You'd be able to call me. You know, little things like, I don't know, what kind of miracles I'd be able to do then? I don't know. Little things like I'll put gas in the car. You know. Speaking of gas, okay, I found out on my birthday that somebody had cloned my debit card, and they bought $100 worth of gas at Sunoco. Now they tried to do my credit union caught it. You know, I mean, because there's a pattern. They go like they test it first. So they try 11 cents, and once they find out it's an active card, then they go ahead and do something and like buy $100 worth of gas. So that's what they did. They got the gas, and I'm a little bit pissed. I mean, first of all, it could have been worse because they got me on an off week. I had already been paid the week before. I'd already paid my bills. So even if they wiped me out, it would only been for like $10 more because all the bills were paid. And I got paid again yesterday. So if they'd done it like tomorrow, they could have done some damage. But last week, it was a good week to get robbed. No, but I got angry because first I had to get a new card. I still have to call all the people that do direct deposit, well not direct deposit, the auto payments. I have like 5 companies to call. Well, 4, because one of them I don't do business with anyway. So let them keep using the old card and not getting any money. So I had to call 4 companies. But I'm pissed about it. I don't get angry about a lot of things, but I think that if the government really wants to stop that kind of stuff, if somebody steals your identity, since they want to beat you so bad, they are not responsible for your debt. Because they want to beat you that bad, that they want to go to the trouble of ruining your life. When they get caught, they have to pay off your student loans, your mortgage, whatever it is that you owe. As a matter of fact, if they pass that law, they're going to see me using my card out in public, just like this, going, yes, my social security number is 417-36. 417-362208. Any takers? Nobody wants to be me? Oh, I think I'm gonna steal your identity. I like your car. Coming for you. So that was last week, and also I had to get my real ID because, yeah. Now I made an appointment, and they gave me a list of all the things that I had to have. And I had my passport, I had my old driver's license, I brought my birth certificate. They wanted a social security card. Now, this was my chance to ream them out. If anybody read their social security card, since they had it, on the back it says a couple of things. One, this is the property of Social Security Administration. It says do not laminate, and it says this is not to be used for identification. Right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So when DMV wanted that for identification, I was ready. I was ready for a fight. So I go in and I have 3 pieces of mail. One of them is a letter that I got from them that I hadn't opened. So, because I knew what it was for. I already had my missions done. It was a missions thing. I saw it go. So, okay, my mission is already done. I only have to open this. It's done. Okay, fine. So I have an unopened letter from DMV. I have a bank statement, like a bunch of crap. And I'm ready to fight. Because I have nothing else to do on my day off. So I go in, and I say to the lady, I said, do you have, I said, here you go, my passport, my driver's license. She said, do you have a social security card? I went, yeah. You can't see it. I need social security. No, you don't need it. It says right here, not to be used for identification. You have my license. You have my passport. I had to have my birth certificate to get both of those. Why do you need my social security number? So, okay. You have some mail? Yeah, see this? Letter you sent me. What do you mean you can't use that? They couldn't use it. They couldn't use it. No, okay, thank you. They wouldn't use it. They could have. Thank you. The English teacher will thank you for correcting me for saying that. Yes. You want me to say something? When I was younger, my mother taught me my mother used to say, there are no bad words, only bad words, bad word use, is what she said. There are no bad words, only bad word use. And I'd say, Mom, don't you mean poor word usage? And she says, correcting me is a bad use of words. Yeah, thanks, Mom. And it's funny, where I work, they use radios, and they say something that reminds me of my mother. And I keep trying to get her out of my head, and I had her out of my head until I got to my job at Random House. And because on the radio, everybody says, "Hey, Bob, where you at? Where you at?" That used to drive my mother crazy. If I was outside and yelled, "Peanut, where you at?" My mother opened the window and said, "Boy, where are you?" "I'm right here, Mom. I'm looking for Peanut. Where you at, Peanut?" Don't make me come out there. See, my mother ruined, and the way my mother ruined my life, because of how proper I spoke, I was not exactly welcomed in my own community at times. And, you know, some of it was the way I talked, and some of it was just that I was just an asshole. But I blame my mother for the other part. Both parts, actually. I get them both from her. So what was I talking about? Was it the NBA? I forgot. Yeah, Real ID, cloning code. Okay, yeah, sure. You know, you don't win an argument with the NBA. I had an appointment, and I could have been out in 10 minutes. Because once they stopped delaying, they just started going like, it was like my turn. They're like, "Okay, have a seat," and then moving my papers around the desk like this. And I'm like, "Excuse me, aren't those my papers?" Shh.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, here, sit here for your picture. Okay. What do you mean it's broken? You have to go to another station. Fine. So I go to another station, and they move my papers over to that desk, right next door. Slide them over, and I sit down. And I'm a very smart person, but one thing I'm not smart about is when people are trying to get even with me. Sit down. We're going to have your picture in a moment. All right. That's too serious. Smile. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. I'll be out of this place soon. Okay, so I'm smiling, and it's... So my driver's license picture looks like this. You don't win fights with the NBA. And I'm walking out, and I walked out, and I'm still cussing about the whole thing with the Social Security card and them not taking their letter that they sent to me as proof that I live there. And as I'm walking out, there's a couple there, and they're having the same argument that I just had with the NBA. And I could not help but, okay, I could have helped. I did not help myself. I had to join in their argument. I had to say, "I know! That just happened to me! Yes, yeah!" And the guy goes, "Yeah!" And the guy looks at me and goes, he says, "Your Social Security card is not to be used for identification." I said, "I know! That's what I told him." He says, "You told him that?" You don't tell him that. Let me see your license picture. Oh, God. No, next time don't tell him anything. Look at my picture. GQ. Highlights, retouch, oh man. Oh. So, as long as I have my brother here, he and my sister taught me how to roller skate. That's when my teeth are so straight, because I had to get them fixed. After they taught me how to roller skate. This was back when roller skating wheels were wood. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, when you went to a Coliseum, that's why I used to, man, am I old. I can't remember, the skating rink, what do you want to call it? You had wooden wheels. And
You're old.
I'm getting over life. Thanks for having my back. My wife also gave me a list of gestures that I couldn't use, so love you. well, my sister was the one who taught me how to skate couples. And she taught me to skate like you would in the Olympics, you know, real couples, which I did not know was unacceptable in the city growing up. That's not how couples dance. I did not know that. Thanks, Cookie. Accident. So, I used to, he said, I skated like an Olympic skater, because that's what my sister taught me. I didn't skate real skating like my brother did. See, when they did the part where there's a ritual at the skating rink. There's the, I think they do, first they do ladies only, and they skate, and they prance, because they're cute, okay, and they want everyone to notice. And then they do the men's only, which is designed for them to show the women, you know, it's like a nature channel. You know, they're all doing their little mating dances on the skates. So they're like, yeah, they got the kicking their legs up, and you know, they got their little things going. And I'm going. So my sister taught me to skate. I got a lot of girls this way. Not really. And meanwhile, I'm watching my brother. He's out there going, yeah. And me, you know, I'm going. It's like Casey and the Sunshine Band. It's like. That's the way, I like it. Kick and twirl. That's the way, I like it. Impress the girls. Honestly, didn't mean to talk about that. I'm just not used to having him there. You know? Now, like I said, part of the reason why we're doing, my wife and I wanted to do all this because, like I said, she let the caterer go, and I have spousophobia. Like I said, I'm afraid of my wife. I wasn't always afraid of her. At least I didn't think I was. Turns out I was always afraid of her. I didn't know that, because I thought we were compromising. In the beginning, I had no pets. She says, we should get a cat. I said, no pets, so we have 1.5. Before we met, I used to use Aquafresh toothpaste. Now we use Crest. I used to use Coast deodorant soap. Now I use Irish Spring. I was compromising, I thought. Turns out I was just afraid of my wife. And the real testament to how afraid I am of my wife, our anniversary was in April. Right? April. And my wife had bought us tickets to a show. Now, the other thing I should mention, before we got together, I did not celebrate any holidays. They just weren't important to me. It was just another day on the calendar. And now, like this one. But she had a rule. There were 2 holidays we had to observe, and I could not screw them up. Valentine's Day and our anniversary. Those are the only 2 days I'm not allowed to screw up. So the rest of the year, I could be a fool. I could be as forgetful and ignorant as I want to be, and now you know why, see? But those 2 days scare me because I can't screw them up. And it puts me in mental pause when they come around. The week before and the week after, I am such a wreck. I can't eat, I can't sleep. I'm so afraid I'm gonna screw those days up that I start retaining liquor. because I'm going through mental pause, and I just don't know what will screw things up. So my wife got us tickets to see Book of Mormon. Those are expensive seats. I don't want to say how much they were. $400 each, I think. Those are $200 each. I think it was like 2 something each. It was like almost $500 for the 2 of us to go see the Book of Mormon. And we had planned to have a nice dinner. We're going to go into the city, get there early, have a nice dinner, and then see the show, then come home. Beautifully planned. We got 11 minutes from the theater. 11 minutes. And my wife was driving because I just had surgery on my knee, so I couldn't really drive that well. And so I had my knee just sitting here against the side of the car because the vibration just made it feel good. And I'm looking down, I have water in my hand like this, and I hear my wife say, "What the?" Let me see, what word can I use? What the possum is she doing? And I look up, and there's a car coming right towards from the right side. And it's coming in right, it's like it's coming, it's too late, I can't do it, anything to stop it. So I leaned into it, like I'm gonna push the car away. When it hits the door, I go into it, and I lean into it, and I go, "Wakanda forever!" Because, like I said, I believe everything I read, and I thought for a moment I could do just like the Black Panther and maybe save that car. So I pushed into it just like this, and we start flying across the median, and my wife has the wheel, and she's like every single turn, she's like avoiding all these obstacles, and every obstacle she avoids, she yells out something that I cannot say because there are church-going people here, but it would be like, Jerry Harper's Choice, just everything like, and then she turns again, and another one, and next thing you know, the car starts to go up on two wheels, like this, and we're heading into 695. On 695 and I look at my wife, and she's got the wheel, and I think to myself, I know what to do. I can grab the wheel. Now, I didn't grab the wheel, because in slow motion, you have about 30 seconds. This happened really, really fast. But I'm going to tell you how afraid I am of my wife. I was reaching out for the wheel and I stopped because I thought I might make her mad. And then I stopped and went, and then in that fraction of a second, I had a vision that I was talking to her father, who before he died, I said to him, "It's okay, I will take care of your daughter." And he says, "Well, now we're all here because you were afraid to grab the wheel." I thought to myself, I don't want him to forever. I don't want to be stuck between him and her, him going, "So you're going to take care of my daughter. Why didn't you grab the wheel?" So I grabbed the wheel, and I get us back on two wheels, and I get us back onto the median, and we just and come to a stop. And my wife looks over, and she says, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah." And then she says, "You saved my life." And I went, "You owe me." Oh man, I gotta get out of jail free card. I saved her life. I mean, what's that good for? How many things can I screw up now? And she can't get mad at me. And no matter what I do, she goes like, "Oh really? Cheating with me with 4 women? I saved your life." Okay, I know that would probably give me the death penalty. Okay, so maybe I can come home with a speeding ticket. I don't know, or stay out late. But the point is, I have like a get out of the doghouse free card, I guess. You know, because women have like things over men forever and ever that they just hold on to. But I saved my wife's life. Well, mine also, but hers. Yes.
Oh, good.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. Well, you can sit down there and tell the story. So after she says, you saved my life, she says, that woman, we might have missed our show. And my wife just starts to get out of the car. Now, I'm already on the phone with 911. I'm trying to call 911 and say, okay, we're at 695. We're about 200 feet past exit 11. We're heading toward the city, but we're on 695, and they said, don't get out the car. Don't get out the car. Don't get out the car. She got out the car. And she starts walking toward that lady. And she's pissed. She's like, and I can hear her saying, I spent $400 on these tickets. And she's walking toward the car and she's cussing. And I'm like, I gotta save that woman's life. I gotta save 2 lives. So I gotta get out my car. My car door won't open. I'm like, oh man, my door won't open. So, and my leg, I said, oh my leg. And I look, and so I said, and look, my wife is like maybe 50 feet from the lady's car, and I'm like, I gotta think fast. So I put my seat back, and I crawl out backwards, out the back of the car, and I get out, and Carol is at the window, and she said, you know how much money I spent on these tickets? This is our anniversary! And she just goes off on the lady, and then she says, and you could have hurt my husband! But first it was the tickets, and the dinner, and then me. In the meantime, the police show up. 2 cars, and one comes to us, and one goes to the other car. And it was actually before they got there, I had an epiphany, I think that's what it's called. Is that an epiphany? Is that what I had? An epiphany? Okay, I had one of those. Because when I was trying to decide whether I should save that lady's life, what should I just do? I really, at one moment I went, don't do anything. She's not mad at you. But I went out to help the lady. Police arrive. One officer comes to me, and he looks at me and he sees my pants are wet. And he goes, did you piss yourself? And I said, no. This is water. He goes, that's too bad, because that's like $100,000 in insurance. So I'm like, oh, okay. And so I said to him, he said, what happened? I said, first of all, you need to know it's not my fault. I did not go on our anniversary. Write that down. Also, I saved my wife's life. Write that down. And I told him everything that happened. And my wife is coming back, and the police officers wants to know from her what happened. What happened? We're going to miss the Book of Mormon. We're going to miss the Book of Mormon. That's what's happening. So my wife was really pissed about that. And we couldn't drive our car. So they said, let's call you an Uber. We're in Bill 695. You need an address for an Uber. I guess you don't. I don't know if you know this. I've never used Uber before. This is our first time. First time using Uber. We're trying to download an app. We just had an accident. We're like downloading the app. We're both trying. She gets there first. And wants an address. And it tells us, there's a Uber 150 feet away from you. The car that hit us was an Uber. Carol says, we're not getting in that damn car. I said, no, we're not. She said, we're not getting in that car. So the police took us to the theater. But they only have room for one of each of us. So there's 2 cars. I'm in one car. Carol's in the other car. And I know how upset Carol is, so I'm feeling really bad for that other cop. Because I know for the next 20 minutes, he's going to be hearing, and I spent $400 on these tickets. This is our anniversary. We're supposed to go to dinner. We're going to miss dinner. We're not even going to make dinner. And so they have like the lights on, the sirens going, they're trying getting us there. And we get to the theater with the lights up, and people think we're VIP. We were dressed really nice for the show, but because of the accident, Carol's hair is a little out of sync. My clothes are messed up. I'm wet all in the front. And we get out the car, and people are like, wait, who's getting out the car? They're like, man. can get out of rehab? So we get out, and the usher looks at me and he goes, we explained to him what happened. Said, no, we were in a car accident, and the police brought us in because our car can't be driven. And so the guy looks at me and goes, did you piss your pants? No, I didn't piss my pants. And he says, that's too bad. That's an extra $1,000 in insurance claim. And then he says, and it's $2,000 if you crap. So, this is just a little life hack. If you're in an accident and you want the extra money, don't call the police right away. Take the time to pee if you only need $1,000. Poop if you need $2,000, extra $2,000. So just take your time, because I don't know what kind of diet you have. It may take you a little longer. If they ask, why'd you wait 5 minutes to call 911? $2,000. So we didn't get to go to dinner. We are at the theater, and so our anniversary dinner was, well, they gave us complimentary champagne. They gave us free champagne and soft pretzels. That was our anniversary dinner. We did get to enjoy the show, and we had to take an Uber from Baltimore to Tawnytown. Yeah. It was $104, not counting tip. So we wanted to spend like $150 for the Uber from Baltimore back to Tawnytown. But what can I say other than the fact that I saved her life? I'm a hero. We're going to have the traditional sharing of the cupcakes, birthday cupcakes. And please, I really thank you all for coming out. I say this. And another round of applause for my wife, Carol.
Don't anybody leave. He needs to blow up his birthday tree.
Thank you all.